Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Mark Fuller, Free World Order. Another video archive. Really good topic today. This is a beautiful morning here in New York City. Before I get started on my topic, I'd like to thank everyone for liking our Facebook page, for subscribing to the YouTube channel, and for contributing to the Free World Order financially through monthly contributions. You can contribute to us with as little as $1 a month. Something very small, very painless, but something that's very powerful when you consider how many people are out there who can make a contribution towards us moving in the direction of a resource-based economy. That's what the goal of the Free World Order is, to shift us into a resource-based system instead of what it is that we have now. Check out thevenusproject.com. Please check out thevenusproject.com so that you can get a better understanding of what a resource-based economy looks like, the way that it will benefit all human beings on our planet, and really the way that it can save us from ourselves, because the direction that we're headed in now, using monetary systems and social orders that don't work, is going to lead us to our own destruction unless we interrupt that and do something about it. You can never force people to do anything. So this is not something that is forcing anyone to do anything. It's really just opening up a perspective on the alternative to what it is that we do right now, which is naturally using a monetary based system, using, the capitalistic free market enterprise system, where corporations allegedly are producing goods and manufacturing goods and services for consumers to use. But in all reality, the bottom line is that the distribution of wealth is so unequal and so disproportionate that you have a very small group of people, like a few hundred people, that control the equivalent amount of wealth as 3 billion people on the planet. That's the system that we have at hand. So we want to do something to change that, so that everyone can enjoy a high standard of living on this planet without a price tag on it. We want to remove the idea of money from the equation and instead utilize the resources of our planet in order to provide abundance for all people. Now, let me get into my subject. My topic for today is, if everyone can't win in this system, then what's the point? If everyone can't win in this system, then what is the point? As you talk to people just day to day, when you have conversations about different things, most people have been conditioned to think in terms of winning and losing. I mean, I see it all the time on social media. You'll see hashtag winning, things like that. People will say it. Winning, as if to say I'm a winner and I'm winning at, I guess, the game of life, or I'm winning and I'm successful at what it is that I'm doing. I mean, whatever the case may be. But how do we really measure winning in our society? We identify winners as people that have accomplished something or succeeded at something, or people who have defeated other people at something, right? That's how we measure winning. It's just like if there's a game, a basketball game, the winner is whoever scores the most points. But people are really infatuated with the idea of winning. But within the system and the paradigm that we're in, winning is always at the expense of other human beings. And this is where we fall short, in my opinion. And I mean, it really isn't just my opinion. It really is what it is. It's not just me thinking, the way that I'm presenting this on this platform right now. You know yourself. I mean, whoever you are out there that's watching this video right now, anytime you hear someone talk about winning, you know that there was a loser, because that's the paradigm that we're used to. We're used to the idea of, well, if you got a winner, you got to have a loser. If you came in first place, you're going to have second and third place. Second place is the first to lose. It's like all of these different ideas float around in your head when you think about winning. But ultimately, we have to examine ourselves collectively and look at ourselves as one group or one race, one entity operating on this planet. All human beings deserve to win. Well, no, there's bad people out there. There are really no bad people. There are really no good people. There are people that react to the conditions of the environment that they're living in. Some people have a positive reaction. Other people have a negative reaction. But the point is that there's a reaction to environment that goes on all the time. It's just like as you live your daily life, right? Why do you go to work? Why do you go to your job? You go to your job to earn money. Well, what do you need money for? You need money to have access to the things that you need in order to live, right? You got to pay your bills. You're paying bills because you need things in place in order to have a certain standard of living. You need a place to stay. You're paying rent or mortgage. You need food. You're buying groceries from the supermarket, or you're buying, food from restaurants, right? You need clothes, so you're going to buy clothing from department stores, from, clothing shops, whatever the case may be. All of these things cost money. And because they cost money, you're constantly chasing money because you constantly want access to those things. You're always going to want to have a place to live. You're always going to want to have heat and hot water. You're always going to want to have your cable television, right? So you pay for all of these services. And in the meantime, you're constantly chasing money in order to pay for all of those things that you want to have access to. But it's not money that you really want. It's access to the things that we desire to have and to enjoy as human beings that we actually want. We want access. So when we look at life in terms of winning and losing, you have human beings that are losing when it comes to life. Some are literally losing their life. And as human beings, we should all be sensitive to those that are in a position where they may not be able to help themselves. This is very, very critical, and this is a pivotal point in time that we're in right now, because we are in the greatest position that we've ever been in on our planet because of science and technology. I want you all really to understand, when you hear me talk about things, I'm always going to bring it back and relate it to the age of science and the age of technology that we're in right now, because science and technology is constantly pushing and moving forward. And because of human beings that take on the challenge of trying to improve and trying to find ways to make things better for human beings, because of these people, we are constantly advancing as far as science and technology goes. Science is our awareness and our knowingness of the way that our environment works and what things respond to, and the way that we can use those things combined with technology to create something better for human beings to enjoy, or something better that is going to help human beings, either to prevent things from happening or to make life better. So science and technology is on our side, and that's the key to us creating a better future for ourselves on this planet. Not just for you and me, but for everyone on the planet. And this is what I talk about. This is why I'm so passionate about what I talk about, because we're living in a paradigm where you are not being taught or educated on what I'm bringing up on my platform on the Free World Order. It's not mainstream media to talk about, what if we had a system where we basically just provided for every person on the planet using the science and the technology and the resources that we have on the planet? No one is talking about that. You don't hear about that in the mainstream media. What do you hear about? Winning and losing. That's what you hear about. Oh, you want to be successful, make sure you get an education, you go to school, get yourself a good job, get a career, find a career. Oh, well, if life is not working out for you, you got to work harder. And then when you look at people that, quote unquote, are successful and are wealthy, it's always the same jargon that's spoon fed back to you, which is, oh, well, if you want to be that, you can do that, but you got to work hard. You got to work harder than everyone else. You see how competition is always put into the mix, and it's not healthy competition, because it makes you feel as if you got to be better than the next person, meaning that you got to outdo someone else in order to achieve a certain level of success. And this is an outdated way of thinking. That's a terrible mindset to have. Why are we working against each other when we can be cooperating with one another in order to bring about more of the things that we know works for everyone? We all have the same problems in common. Like, human beings all have the same problems in common, regardless of where we exist on this earth. Cancers, heart disease, all types of different ailments. In some countries, people are dying from diseases that we have vaccinations for here in America, just as an example. Stuff that we'll never have to worry about because we've been vaccinated to be immune to those diseases. People in other countries die from those diseases because they don't have the same type of medication available to them. You see what I'm saying? So it is senseless for us to continue to live under the same paradigm where that's all we're doing. All we're doing is keeping a system in place, the establishment that simply is there to extract wealth, utilizing the mass of people as the labor and the driving force, because the labor force and the consumers is what keeps this system going. You going to your job every day and you buying shit. That's what keeps this system going. That's what's propping it up. So keeping the system going means that you still are always going to have the winning and losing mentality. You always either going to feel like a winner or you're going to feel like a loser in this system. Now ask yourself, do we really want that as human beings? Do you want other people to feel like a loser? You really don't. You want everyone to feel like they're a winner, like they have value. But really, in essence, the only value that you have in this system is your ability to consume, because that's the way that the system is set up. It's designed by design. It's set up like a pyramid. So all of the wealth and all of the value is always pushing its way to the top. It's not spread out, and it's not really benefiting everyone. It's benefiting whoever is able to manipulate their way to the top of the pyramid. And it really is that simple. So there's a constant fight that goes on where the crabs in the barrel are trying to climb out of the barrel, but you're stepping on other crabs in the barrel in order to do so. So it's like you're always stepping on other human beings in order to try to elevate yourself within the system. And that is a problem. That's a major problem, because we cannot continue to live that way if we want life to be better. You can't just want to have a better life for yourself. That's why they call it karma, because it's cause and effect. If all you do is think about yourself and you're self-absorbed, you're always thinking about yourself as far as surviving, self-preservation, you have to identify yourself with other humans, other people. It's not just about you. What are other people on this earth experiencing? A lot of them are experiencing pain, suffering, and death unnecessarily. And we're part of a system that perpetuates that same result. So, and unless we interrupt and break off from that and begin moving in a different direction, a direction where we are all, as human beings, able to benefit from what the earth produces and to benefit from what human beings and our ingenuity creates, which is science and technology, unless we mesh all of those things together in order to benefit the entire group of humanity, what are we left with? What are we going to have on this earth? You're always going to have the same result. You're always going to have unnecessary human suffering, crime, poverty, homelessness. All of the negative aspects of what we see in society will remain because we're not changing the direction that we're moving in as a collective. We're perpetuating the same bullshit, which is winning and losing. And we got to stop it if we want better. I'm always under the assumption that all people intuitively want better. Knowing that, what are we going to do in order for all people, not some people, all of us, every human being on our planet, how can we design a society and a system that benefits everyone? How do we do that? And this is where the Venus Project comes into the picture. And that's why I want you all to check out the Venus Project, because this is the only thing that I have seen that actually created a way to bring the resource-based economy into existence in real life, in our world, in the world that we're living in right now, with all of the existing technology and science that we have. And you all see it in action every day. You see how, like right now, I'm making this video on my cell phone, on a phone. Look at the technology that we have. So these phones are getting better. The cameras are getting clearer. The technology is improving and improving with every new phone that they release. So if they're able to release all of this new technology, we see the best that humanity has to offer through the technology that's made available. But we're locked in, and it's like we're kind of in a box because we're doing it within a monetary based system. So, for example, Apple or Samsung, they're only going to release their phones and the new technology if it's profitable. They're not going to release it because it's the best that we have right now. They're only releasing it if they're able to make a profit off of that phone. And this is the paradigm that we're living in under this monetary based system. It's key. It's holding us back as humanity. But the science and technology is continuing to move forward. I already know they have technology that's years ahead of where we are right now. They have all kind of technology that has never been introduced to the public because they have not figured out a way to monetize it. And it won't be released until they do. We have an alternative. We got a better way to do it. The resource-based system is always going to have whatever the best technology is available today, right here and right now. It'll be used because that's the best that we have up to now. And it'll be for the benefit of all people now. It's just like, things that they create laws for. They create laws for things that they had not figured out how to solve the problem of. Instead of building the technology into cars so that no car will collide with any other moving or inanimate object, they can put all kinds of motion sensors and different detectors, cameras, anything you can think of. They can already put it and build it into cars today. But instead of them doing that, what do? They tell you stop sign, red light, and you're operating the vehicle. We can have vehicles driving themselves. You type in on your GPS where you want to go. The car drives you there safely, It has all of the technology built into it that automatically will avoid accidents. You won't have people getting hit. You won't have children getting run over. You won't have the cars jumping up on the curb hitting people on the sidewalk, because the answer and the solution is built into the technology. We bypass the need to even have those laws. We don't need traffic laws anymore. This is the resource-based economy that I'm talking about. All of this is a part of what the Venus Project has already presented. And the Venus Project is the start. It's not the be-all, end-all. It's just the very beginning. So just imagine how further along we'll be if we're using a resource-based system instead of what we're doing right now, which keeps everything boxed in because it's only about corporate profits. It's only about companies making money and being profitable in this monetary-based system. They don't put out new technology unless they're able to make money off of it, period. You think that might be holding us back as human beings? It is. It's clear. So this is the direction of the Free World Order. My name is Mark Fuller. Free World Order is a platform that I created in order to help us raise money to build the first resource-based city using the concepts and the foundation that the Venus Project has laid out. Roxanne Meadows now is in charge of the Venus Project. There's a team of volunteers. People are volunteering from all across the world as far as science and technology, computers, IT. All of these technical people are volunteering their knowledge and their services to the Venus Project to make the resource-based city a reality. The only thing that we need now is the actual money to build the first city. And then once that first city is built, that will become the blueprint for future cities, because we'll have it actually done. An example of what can be created and what can be possible as we move into the future. And then it can be duplicated. And we'll live in a much better world. So we have to start from somewhere. People are asking me, well, why are you, raising money? What are you raising money for? And that's what I'm raising money for. My first goal is to raise $1 billion because that's around the amount of money that we need in order to build the first city. And once we have the first city built, then it will just continue to go on. It'll become viral, just like anything else that is ahead of its time does. Just like the cell phone, it started as a big ass heavy walkie-talkie thing. Look at the phones that we have now. Technology is going to continue to move. So the same thing is going to be applicable with the resource-based system. That's why us building that first city is going to set off the wave. But we have got to build the first city. We have to do that. So that's why I'm asking everyone to contribute financially to the Free World Order, because we are using that money to build that first city using the Venus Project Foundation. So the Venus Project is raising money. Free World Order is raising money, and that's exactly what we're raising it for the Venus Project to be able to build that first city. That's where the money is going. So those of you that were inquiring or, keep hitting me up and asking me about where the money's going, that's where it's going. So this is about us shifting into a new paradigm. This is not about us using money to do something within the same paradigm that we're in. That's not what we're doing. We're not raising money to, build a building. We're not raising money to do anything within the confines of this existing monetary system. We're actually raising money in order to buy the resources and the materials that we need in order to create the first resource-based city. And once that city is built, the resources of the city that we build will be used within the city to provide for human beings. You see what I'm saying? Clean energy. All of these systems are total systems that will be a part of the city. It'll be built in. So there's going to come a point where there's not going to be any money used. And that moneyless society is what we really need to be operating within on this planet today. Because there's no need for human beings to have labor and to be endangered. It's like people are still working on jobs that are totally dangerous and not healthy for people. Not to mention not healthy for the environment. Why are people still working in mines? We can have machines in mines mining for, different natural resources and materials. Why are people down there putting all type of pollution in their lungs and, basically killing themselves? Same thing goes for just living in inner cities. Look at all of the pollution that goes on in the inner cities across America, in China. The pollution is so bad in China, they got to walk around with face masks. Like, you literally can see the pollution in the air. In the distance, you can't even see buildings depending on how far away from the inner city that you are. That's how thick the pollution is in the air. That's not healthy for human beings. Why are we still functioning like this? It's all about profits. So we're putting profits before people, and we don't need to do that because we have the science and technology today that can remove human beings from those jobs. We can automate and we can use clean energy. Are you kidding me? How much power do we get from the sun? How much power do we get from geothermal? You know what that is? The heat coming from the earth, volcanoes. This is energy that is free. It's available to us. And we have the know-how to tap into and to harness that energy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, hit me up on Facebook, send me a friend request, open up the dialogue on these videos. When I make these videos, I do this so that we can open up discussion and talk about things, just so that we can, get a better understanding of what's possible for us as human beings. Because there's so much bullshit in the world. It's so much confusion and bullshit that goes on. People are losing sight of what the fuck we here for. As human beings, we're supposed to be the most intelligent beings on the earth. But we're killing ourselves, killing one another, and we're contributing to a system that's killing us all. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So holla at me, man. Mark Fuller, FreeWorldOrder. You guys take care. Make sure that you like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and contribute to us financially. Help us reach that first goal of raising $1 billion for the first resource-based city. Start with $1 a month. Totally painless. All right. On that note, I'm out. Mark Fuller, deuce.